Who Put This On, Season 7, Episode 28, where we watch Seeking Brother Husband, Season 1, Episode 1. And shall we have some soup and talk? I'm Chris Lorenz.
I'm Christina, primary partner Plumas.
I don't want to use our podcast to just be a place for us to have sex. This is Brian.
I'm going to ask you a question. Have you ever been in an orgy? This is Noah Singer.
Those are references to the show we watched this week. But last week, we watched a show called Outlast. We had a poll on Twitter, see what you guys thought. You guys thought it was top third show. I have some spoiler alert for the end of this podcast, but we're going to talk about Outlast at the end. And if this is your first time listening, we watch a different reality show each week, figure out if it's good or bad. Noah, what did we watch this week?
Documenting the ups and downs and everything in between as polyandrous relationships navigate boundaries and life-changing decisions while working to add additional husbands to their families. That is Seeking Brother Husband on TLC.
Thank you, Noah. So this first episode's about three couples, not more than couples, unclear what we should call them. And they're all about to try to find another brother husband. Mm-hmm. And that's just kind of the show's like focusing on these three sets of people. So this show is produced by Big Fish Entertainment, which has big hits like Love and Hip Hop Miami and Hollywood, White House Christmas, Ugliest House in America, and a personal favorite of ours, How Far is Tattoo Far?
Yes. All right. Finally, we found the
White
right
House.
company.
You said White House America?
White House
Christmas.
Apparently, it was a show where they had to decorate the White House in 3 days or something. I was very confused.
Why would the White House put up with that? Like, you guys are better than that.
I don't know. I don't know. There's another White House show around Thanksgiving or something.
They painted a model, right? Because there's no way they're getting the security clearance for this. You want to film what on the White House?
All right, guys.
Sounds like a Trump production. You know, Trump's like, what? I'll get a few thousand. All right.
Oh yeah. I mean, it seemed like it, but it didn't look. I don't know.
All right, we gotta move on.
Let's move on. Let's get back to this show. So this show is real weird. I don't really feel all that comfortable with the show a lot of the time. It's really just like a couple, and then the woman decides that she is not okay with how sex is going in this relationship and goes elsewhere to find it.
Yeah, that's a good description of it.
So I can't remember with like Seeking Sister Wives, was there like a bigger sexual component to it? Because I feel like they were hiding it more.
It did seem to be always sexual, but I don't know.
Like for here, it was very clear. Like they were it was all about the sex.
Yes, definitely a repeating here.
But Christina, you've seen Seeking Sister Wives.
Yeah, I don't think it was as obvious. I think the theme was the same.
Like, yeah, I mean, similar vibes, sure.
But yeah, this clearly they were not satisfied in their relationship.
The most common trait between everyone here is the first husband is a little bit of a pushover. Because this doesn't have like that's the most common trait.
I think so, but also at least at the point where they are in their relationships. Like, it is a lot to get into one of these relationships and to be okay being on a show about this type of relationship. Like, I feel like you have to be such an extreme of the extremes that maybe they just adjusted to a certain degree at that point. But they do come off as pushovers, very much so.
Poor Mike.
All right, let's start going couple by couple, and then get into this minutia here. So we've got Kenya, Carl, and Tiger. Yeah. So Kenya and Carl were together for 25 years. Mm-hmm. And then Tiger shows up for the last 10 years. It's unclear if they've been married for 10 years or not. They've been together 10 years. So this is like the longest lasting dysfunctional polyamorous group that we saw today in this episode.
Mhm.
What did they call it? Polyandry?
Yeah. Not polyamorous.
So polyamorous is just husband, multiple wives?
No, many loves.
Many. So many to many. Polyandry is one wife to many husbands.
Yes.
Mhm.
And then there's a word for husband to many wives, but I don't know what it is.
Yeah, it's interesting that they focused solely on that word, whereas like I think the Seeking Sister Wives, they probably did polyamorous, or did they?
And I don't think they
never brought it up.
They didn't bring it up.
But that is interesting because, like, well, not about this couple. We'll talk about it in a different couple, but thought that was kind of interesting. So Carl gets his own room. He likes his space. And the big thing in this episode was that Tiger does not want Kenya to move to another room. He wants that sex, and he doesn't want other guys to get this sex. He wants it all.
But I think we also got to touch on Carl. Carl just seems in this very zen place, but also like, I think he's kind of done with Kenya. Also, like he just seems so happy to be like, I don't gotta sleep with this person anymore. Like I don't gotta go through the hassle of like getting rid of things. There's a guy to help out around here. He just seems to be like enjoying life.
So
I'm just trying to figure out like who brings in the money, because they said something about Kenya and Tiger are entrepreneurs. Does that mean Carl is funding the household?
Well, so I've been doing some cornering on each of the units in this show. So Kenya's a pretty smart person. She went to Howard University, so you know you got to be pretty smart to get in there, graduate. But so she runs a relationship consultancy about safely transitioning into polyamory. And so she hosts like retreats, and she says she's had like thousands of clients. So that is her main hustle. She has 44,000 followers on Instagram, which is not shabby. I should actually say that is quite impressive for a polyamory focused relationship consultancy.
Do we think that they're on the show to better her business then?
Obviously.
Primary reason there.
I think she's the breadwinner here. And Carl's just like sugar dad. She's the sugar mama at this point.
Yeah.
And totally. Carl can just go like be zen in his own bedroom.
Yeah.
And lives a happy life.
Yeah.
And like he seems very asexual as well.
Yeah.
Spoiler. Or you're just like, this is too much.
Yeah. Spoiler. Each of the units on the show have had a side business promoting polyamory in some form for years.
Wow. I mean, I'm sure they've been trying to get the show off the ground since Seeking Sister Wives came out, like 8 years ago or whenever that show started, because that was a big hit. So it doesn't surprise me that everyone has like a side hustle here.
But I don't even know if it's a side hustle. So like once you get to each of the couples, but all of them have been trying to monetize their alternative relationship for longer than I imagine they've been casting.
We'll get to them. Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. Is like you only have a certain type of people that are going to want to be on the show.
Yeah.
And I'm not surprised there's some sort of quid pro quo going on here for most of these couples. I mean, there usually is. Like you want to be the social media influencer. So like their businesses come before the influencer this time.
Yeah. And I think a lot of it has to probably do with like the population you could cast for the show is probably so small.
Yeah, for sure. Maybe it'll be bigger thanks to the show.
Yeah. Tweet at us. Let us know.
Tweet at us if this show has convinced you. So this couple, it's clear that Carl's in this for something that we don't know yet.
I mean, they do have a bunch of kids together.
Yeah.
Well, that's true. Could be for the kids.
I think
it could also be like he gets sex once a quarter, and that's what he wants. And he's got a low sex drive.
He
no,
was,
do you not?
He was the one that said Kenya and Tiger were the primary sexual unit of the relationship.
That doesn't mean the secondary unit doesn't get any sex.
Right, that's what I'm saying. So primary, that leads me to believe it happens whenever he wants, which just doesn't seem very frequent.
It's whenever she wants. Let's be very clear.
You don't describe your sex life in quarters, Noah? It's not once a quarter.
Isn't that how most people describe it?
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, I mean, have they ever been in a threesome? Is this an FMF or like MFF?
Absolutely not.
Threesome? Oh, 100%. Kenya wants it. Kenya's going to get it.
Yeah.
But Carl's not in.
Carl's in.
Tiger does not want to share Kenya.
With new guys.
But I don't think with Carl either.
Yeah.
Okay. My vote's yes. Your vote's no. That's fine. That's what I'm going to vote for. So you're saying this is not a throuple in any way?
I vote no.
I was thinking it initially, but then like after seeing Carl's attitude, I got to vote no too.
I mean, there's definitely an aspect where Carl wants sex all the time, and is not going to get sex all the time once she moves out of that room.
No, you're talking about Tiger.
Tiger,
yeah.
Sorry, Tiger. And that's why he was so upset.
Yeah, and she's just done. She's like, okay, this is not enough. I like the new. That was ridiculous when she said that. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I feel like there's no real reason I can get from Kenya that she wants another husband. I don't think there's anything that convinces me she actually wants another husband.
Yeah,
yeah.
I think Tiger said, "I always wonder if we're not enough," and she gave like a really shitty reason that just
like they fight a lot in the morning, and she just wants to have sex. Wasn't it something?
Yeah.
There's definitely just an aspect of they're trying to get money out of this thing. This is the only reason these people are on the show.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Should we move on to our next couple?
Yep. Let's do it.
Which is Elise and Mike.
Elisa.
I wrote down Elisa. Yeah. So this is the other big couple here where Mike. Keep calling him Mark. Mike is not okay with this at all. And Elisa's really pushing for it. Mm-hmm. And this is just not going to happen.
I feel like this is exactly how not to start a polyamorous relationship. Is Elisa cheated on Mike while they were dating.
No, it's so bad.
And then somehow convinced him he still wanted to be in the relationship and that she can be with other people.
Yeah, he's just like, look, he doesn't have the confidence to say that I can go find somebody better who actually values me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And she cheated just because she had an intense connection. Like, what the fuck? Yeah, at least say you were drunk.
I mean, she probably was.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not a good excuse. I take the other one over that one for sure.
Yeah.
I don't think that because you were drunk is a valid excuse.
It's not a valid excuse, but it's definitely better to be like, okay, look,
it was in the moment, he had a 6-pack and I just, I had to do it.
He was like not a biker. Acceptable. What did she say? She describes him somehow. A cowboy, maybe? You guys remember that?
I do not remember that.
I just know they met while line dancing.
Line dancing. That was okay, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Like the most awkward part of the show was when Elisa was talking to Mike and Elisa was like, yeah, so we have our number one rule was no banging in the bed. And she was like, now that we have 2 beds, in her face, she looks so happy. Like the happiness in her face briefly for like 2 seconds is off the charts. She's like, now that we have 2 bedrooms, what's the new rule? And Mike was like, gives this look of like, I already hate this. No,
I'm not okay with this.
Not okay with this. No banging in the apartment. not the bed this time. Now it's not the apartment.
So
and
can
then
we talk? Oh, yeah, you go.
I just want to say that Elisa says, "Well, you're going to be gone in a week, so
Yeah.
for the next weekend. So can I bang somebody that weekend, or like next? Can I bang somebody next weekend?" And Mike is like, "I cannot have." His face is like, "Do not bang anyone next weekend.
Yeah.
I don't care if it's here or anywhere else. Do not bang anyone."
Yeah, it's so bad.
Poor Mike.
You definitely feel bad for Mike. Like Elisa, whatever. She comes off as this like someone you don't like. But Mike just seems to just put up with all of it. Like he just seems to get continually shat on. And he's like, well,
Yeah.
I guess this is life. Boop doop doop.
Well, when Elisa was talking to her mom and she's like, there's nothing wrong with Mike. I want to find someone that is opposite of Mike.
Yeah.
I feel like that is so mean.
Oh,
That's very
like
bad.
I want everything that's completely opposite of who I'm married to.
Yeah, there's no way.
Yeah.
If Elisa finds somebody that's complete opposite and she loves, like, it's over. Like, it doesn't matter what Mike's going to do. She's going to leave Mike. And Mike hopefully will leave Elisa once, this whole thing starts, like, kicking off. Like, it's over.
Yeah.
But, like, why is Elisa with Mike?
Money?
They had an intense connection. Like
They met at a music festival.
So they were tripping balls. Like there were so many points where I just thought, why are you together? At the beginning they described they were like polar opposites. Like she's spontaneous, he's very rigid, and I was like, yeah, like but we're still compatible together where it counts.
Brian, here's what it is. Mike's a pushover. Elisa gets what she wants. Big in the bag of the boo. They're together.
Big in the bag of the boo.
Like there's got to be something about it that's just like
the sex is off the chain, Brian.
No,
it's not
based on Elisa's comments.
Yeah,
it was off the chain.
It was, but I'd also just give up on this. I'd like, all right, I don't need to deal with this. Although maybe TLC is paying him pretty nicely.
Could be.
I mean, there's definitely partial reason. Every one of these people is on here for a reason. Yeah. Noah, what was their side hustle?
So, I think they're acting. They host together a podcast about polyamory, ethical non-monogamy, love and relationships. Elisa has a consultancy, how to start a polyamorous relationship. Yeah, they've been at this for a while. And so I think this whole ruse of like tiptoeing into it is totally made up. They're playing characters.
That is the other, that's the other storyline they have here is like how they're babying into this, They're just getting into it.
So do you think their whole storyline is fake?
Yes. So to give you some like setting, right? The first episode of their podcast about polyamory is from February 1st, 2021.
Who knows when this was filmed? Could have been filmed in 2021.
I think I did see that TLC started this like before the pandemic or during the pandemic, and it took a long time to produce. But I can
let me see if I can. Yeah, I'll see if I can get some data on that.
I would claim it. That doesn't seem that long ago because I don't know when this was filmed.
They're not keeping this content on, like unless they have to. Like, I don't.
Maybe they filmed couple by couple in different time frames. Never know.
Could be. I mean, they would have to have it on the shelf for a long time. But yeah, let me see if I can pick it up. But anyway, it's like that's their side hustle, right? Like she's selling again consultancies and basically advertising through the podcast.
I think it says it was filmed in the summer of 2022.
That time.
I mean, so he's on a podcast about polyamory.
Correct.
For 2 years?
They both are. Yeah. Like, that's why.
All right. Okay, so he's all in.
So, yeah. Well, we haven't seen their third husband, like a second husband, or attempts at second husbands.
I guess we also have to listen to the podcast and see like how he's behaving on there.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to listen to like 2 weeks ago podcast or 6 months ago.
One thing I'd like to bring up about their house, they have these 2 baby gates on top of each other. I think it's for their cat, but very unclear why they have 2 baby gates, like creating this like division.
It's for the producers.
That's a jail.
It's for Mike, so he doesn't go upstairs to the second bedroom where
They never.
it's where the second husband is. He's up there, so they can introduce him later for the story of the show.
Yeah, I
really
just didn't
think
get it. He's. What's up, Brian?
I really think they missed an opportunity of like jailing the second husband in there for sex dungeon.
Who knows? We've got a long season ahead of us, Brian. We could have lots.
Thank
lots of
goodness.
stuff.
If we can like merge several reality shows, I'm all for it.
All right.
Yeah.
Do you think that Lisa and Mark and husband number 2 will be a throuple? Will there be a threesome? Do you think Mike is down for a threesome?
Elisa gets what Elisa wants.
Mm-hmm.
That's fair. That's true. So you're saying if Elisa wants it, which I said the same thing about Kenya. So
I don't think Elisa wants it. I think Elisa wants Mike like in the basement, and she wants a new guy.
I don't know. I don't think you're at a podcast for 2 years with the old dumping on the sidewalk.
To Noah's point, this couple is from LA. They're probably actors.
I mean, they did a really good job of acting at that once. The scene in the kitchen. All right, should we go to our
I
last?
just don't know how else to explain it, right?
Yeah.
No, maybe they started to get on the show. You know, like we're gonna get into this community, get on the show.
That's
all right. So
it's the long game.
Exactly. So our last couple is Kim and Dustin. They've been together how many years? I forget.
I didn't catch that.
Kim had 2 kids before. Was it Kim that had 2 kids or Dustin that had 2 kids? I think it was Dustin had 2 kids
Dustin, yeah.
before they met. They both were divorcees.
Mm-hmm.
And then they have a son together named Cohen, and then their potential second husband. It is the drama of the show is that Vincent's unclear if he wants to be in or out of this polyamorous thing, but
we need to say why because it's pretty funny.
Okay, Noah, give it to me.
Yeah, so Vincent is the third one in this, right? So Dustin and Kim.
It's Vincent, not Vincent. Vincent.
Correct. Vincent. So Vincent's the third. And like they're living well, you know, with Vincent being the third. He has a kid. The kids get along. Everything looks good and dandy, right? Just like a Norman Rockwell picture if there was 2 husbands. But Vincent then gets mad because Kim wants to date even more men. And he's like, I don't know if you take that. I don't know if I thought I was last in line.
He's the tiger of this relationship, and is like, nah, I'm good. See ya.
Yeah.
At least that's the story they're telling. Whether that's true or not,
totally,
is unclear.
Yeah.
Do you think Dustin, the massage therapist, gives Vincent massages?
100%. Dustin, I feel like part of this whole thing could be Dustin really wanting to like be in like a throuple where he gets a third. So, you know, they could have some sort of threesomes.
Yeah, of any of the 3, I'd say this is the one that I could see being the throuple.
Yeah.
Well, we know Dustin is in. It's really Vincent if he's in or not. They also seem to like soup. They got together to have dinner, and it was soup, not stew. Soup.
No, it was taco soup.
It was soup.
No, but taco soup is a meal.
Is it a meal? Where's my taco?
So taco soup. It's basically like a mix of like taco meat with like the enchilada red sauce, and then like maybe some like diced peppers, corn, beans, like very much a meal that then you got like sour cream on the side, some tortilla chips, like good to go.
So
Guys, are you really replaying a Seinfeld episode right now?
so soup. So soup.
It's more, it's more like a chili,
Yeah.
but
I
it is
think
called
more
the
so,
soup.
why was this like part of the episode?
Dude,
Why did
the B shots of what people are doing in this episode are fucking terrible. They're like, "Ooh,
Yeah.
cutting some peppers here. Oh, we're making some soup. Oh, put some dishes away." I'm like, "Oh my god, could you be doing anything more boring? Can you just sit on that couch and tell me the damn story? This is just asinine."
I don't know. I think that was actually a smart decision, right? Like you're dealing with a topic that is so extreme to most people that I think putting in the mundane activities of life helps you better appreciate that these are on the all in all normal people.
No, just put them on the Modern Family couch and tell me. It was
Mm.
more distracting. Like it was more distracting for them to be doing all this random stuff.
I don't know. I actually like that.
Okay, we know where the producers got their test group from over
Yeah.
here.
Yeah.
Mr. Banya, his
Yeah.
soup.
I made
Although
$34.
you wouldn't be
It's worth it.
Banya in that situation. You'd be Jerry, and I'd be Banya in that situation.
It's a soup. It's a soup.
Yeah, and Vincent has 2 sons, so they they got a nice family going here.
Yeah. They're doing good. Yeah, and then so to round it out, Kim, what her business isn't as clear, to be honest. She has this thing called Soliloquy of the Soul, and it looked like she was trying to promote like something, but it just seems like it's more of like her speaking. Like looks like she was trying to start a business, but like all the links are broken to like all these books that potentially are there. But also she promotes conscious sexuality and something called spirit science, which I don't know what that's about.
Yeah. I don't know.
You don't want to take
It's
a
got-
gander at what spirit science is?
No. I don't
do you
know.
think that's what she taught him in college when she was his professor, right? Or
Yeah,
like
Oh yeah.
Professor.
teaching assistant or something?
At,
kind of
at the massage
college?
school.
Yeah, was it massage school or what?
Yeah.
Okay.
It was massage school, really?
Yeah. Yeah.
I
went
mean,
back
he
to
is a
school.
massage therapist, but he did call it college.
Yeah.
So I was unclear.
Obviously, when you go to massage college, you call it college.
Massage
It's fair.
college.
You can
Yeah.
call it what you want.
Yeah.
All right. So Christina, thruple or not thruple? Have they ever had a threesome?
Yes.
Brian,
Yep.
Noah?
Definitely.
Yeah. Okay. All right. We're all on the same page this time.
We got to figure out, like, from Noah's quote at the beginning, which one they're talking about the orgy with.
The primary sexual unit or the secondary?
Everybody's involved. Like all the sexual units are involved in an orgy, Chris.
No, I mean, sure, I guess. I don't know.
Wait, Chris, have you ever had an orgy?
No. Brian, have you had an orgy?
No.
Okay.
Long pause.
Or
Are you
define
sure?
define
sure?
define orgy.
Hmm.
Does anyone have any other minutia we want to go over before we get to this questions?
Yeah, I got 2 of them. One, I love that Kenya's dog is named Moonstone.
Come here,
Okay.
Moonstone. Moonstone. Moonstone.
And she carries Moonstone around the house. Just super funny. So we like Moonstone. Second thing, which is hilarious. So the next episode, not that I watch it, but they gave previews. They introduced a fourth couple.
Yeah, I have their name. Do you want their names?
Um,
Patrick, Shara, and Noble.
yeah. So Noble, we find out, has also been in a relationship with Kenya.
Yes.
Oh, really?
Oh,
Yeah. Too good. Too good. So
too good.
Is Noble the one with the giant forehead? Or is he
no,
the other one?
it's the other one. It's the other one.
Okay.
Um,
Giant forehead guy.
but there
And
are
is bald
pictures.
man? I've never seen a bald man, and I'm like, that's a giant forehead. Until
is.
now.
I mean, you could say that because you're bald. I can't say that, but you can.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, but there's a picture of Kenya, Carl, Tiger, and Noble all together, and they're all like courting Kenya. And I was like, this is too much.
Did they have a foursome?
I mean, that's still an orgy, right?
Well, this is Kenya this time. I was the one that said that they had a threesome.
Is there a maximum or minimum number of people for an orgy?
Minimum is 4.
Really?
We're
Yeah.
not turning into this podcast. Ask the sexual consultant what the definition is.
I have an easy answer. There's a word for 3 people. It's threesome,
Hmm.
and that's officially recognized. Orgy is above that.
Hmm.
Okay, all right, we're moving on. Who is the worst human being? This
Elisa.
episode? I mean, the way this thing looks, Elisa is definitely.
Yeah, she comes off terrible.
Yeah, I agree.
Kenya doesn't come off that like in the same realm. Kenya doesn't come off that great because
No,
she's pushing
yeah.
off Tiger and his like feelings.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas like Tiger's actually sharing his feelings. So like, and you know, Mike is like hiding his feelings, even though it's like on his face, but he's not like.
But it feels like Elisa hasn't given Mike a safe place to express his feelings, where Kenya, you know, it seems like a little bit more of a open relationship is the wrong term. That too.
But yes, in the sense
Healthy.
of what normal people would say, more open relation, like more open of a person.
Yeah.
I got it.
Can we all just agree that Carl's the best person, living best life?
Yeah,
Carl's definitely
Easy.
living his best life.
yeah, we like Carl.
All right. There's no host. We'll skip that. We already kind of touched on the production schedule, but it's unclear how long the show goes for, like time wise. But I have to. If this is going to be a good show, it's got to go months. Like you don't just meet these people every week. You got to catfish them. You got to pull them in from like the Philippines or something, like somewhere the Caribbean. Not too many people in America are really signing up for something like this.
Yeah, I don't know, but then like you gotta fly the production crew back and forth. Like unless you have production crews in the area, which maybe I
A
don't
reality
know.
show's gonna. I bet you a big thing to like networks that are very focused on reality TV shows. They have production crews all around the country.
I mean, it's not that expensive to get a crew. It's like, 2 to 5 people. In the grand scheme of things, that's not that expensive.
No, probably not. It's just a lot of it's a certain quality bar you want. You have to give them on. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I'd like to learn more about that.
Quality bar.
Have you seen Discovery Plus? All right, let's do some drinking rules. Brian, give me a drink rule.
Drink anytime sex is brought up.
Brian, we're trying not to kill the people who listen to our show.
I'm sorry. I need to fill the max roll while he's not here.
Anytime they drink, you drink.
Yeah.
Noah.
Anytime you think one of them is starting to make an argument that sounds reasonable, then it turns out to be not reasonable. Drink.
Christina?
Anytime you feel sorry for Mike, drink.
You should drink anytime the woman is flirting with another man that's not part of their current relationship. Brian?
Finish your drink if there's a breakup.
Ooh. Finish your drink if there's intercourse with somebody that, the new person.
I like
on
that.
the show.
Mm.
All right. Would this show be better as a Quibi or a TikTok? I would define this show like one of these couples. This show is a TikTok. It's just not in like 2-minute format. But it could be. It's just like a minute every day of hanging out with your favorite polyamorous couple. Like that's TikTok. That's what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Is
Yeah.
you follow these people like every day when they post like that this is TikTok. So
Yeah.
I would argue that would be better because I could choose whether I wanted to follow that or not.
Yeah, I could see that.
From the couples today, who would you not choose?
I feel like Eliza, Mike, I can't do because they say they're either really good actors or Mike is like really good actor, or I feel really bad for Mike, so I can't watch Mike really.
Mm-hmm.
And Kenya seems like a fun person to watch. Like Kenya, entertaining. Kim, boring. Like forget it. I don't give a fuck. Like Dustin, he's too horny. Like I need a normal. I need Kenya. I'd watch Kenya. And I couldn't watch Forehead Guy, so that's out. I don't know anything about
So
them,
you
but
would
Forehead.
condense this whole show into a Kenya TikTok.
Yeah, and I would end up watching probably more of the Kenya TikTok than I would of this entire season of television.
Kenya talk.
We've definitely brought up how some people are just like condensing reality TV shows and putting them on TikTok. Somebody will do this, and Chris will find it.
I'm
As
sure
Chris
there's
is currently watching Teen Mom on TikTok.
Team Mom. Who am I following right now? Leah. It's Leah and Ryan.
No, that's
she a-
Macy and Ryan.
It's Macy and Ryan.
Yeah.
It's Leah. Who's Leah's?
Corey.
Corey. Yeah. Okay. Anyway,
are these moms from TV, or they solely are TikTokers?
So this person on TikTok, I shouted her out last week. She does recaps of character by character of people on Teen Mom. So she's like Leah was on like 16 and pregnant, and then on Teen Mom until like season 8 or something. And then she'll move on to do something
She was
else.
Teen Mom 2.
She was a Teen Mom of 2.
Yeah. But Macy and Ryan were Teen Mom OG.
Yeah, she's all into these Teen Mom things, and she's taking too long now. It's getting a little much. But anyway, back to this.
Yeah.
Who's gonna hook up next? And by that, I think we should go with the woman that's gonna hook up outside her relationship next.
Outside the relationship.
I feel like
Elisa next weekend.
Yep. Oh,
okay, you guys can take these. I'll take Kenya. I think Kenya has got some numbers lined up. She's ready.
Yeah. I'm in Chris's boat. Like, at least if we believe the story they're telling us, Elisa just got her profile created. Like she might need to build up some potentials, but I mean, obviously, I'm sure as soon as she puts a profile up, she'll have 20 people just saying, hey,
I mean,
what's up?
they could be right. Like, get on that Tinder, Elisa, easily. You want to come over while my husband's not here? She can do that. She can have that happen.
Yeah, like
Right.
based on what we saw today, she's not actually looking for, like, she's just looking to have some fun and call that seeking a brother husband. But I think
Right.
she's more into it to just like let loose and get some action outside of her husband.
Yeah, she wants that side action.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and that is completely unlike Mike.
Poor Mike.
The complete opposite. can't deal with that guy.
Brian, let's get to what do you love about this show. So Brian, what do you love about it?
I love that it actually showcases that women can actually have the same desires as men, because there was an exact show like Seeking Sister Wives, and it's just like, okay, yeah, this is stereotypical. This feels a little more empowering.
Are you saying that men and women aren't the same?
No, I'm saying they are.
That's what you just said.
I'm
You
saying
said
that,
it was
like,
empowering. Are you saying that Seeking Sister Wives is empowering too?
no.
You see my comment.
I mean, like, okay, everybody's still like, it has the same exact, like, both of them have the same exact problems, but it's
okay.
like one's highlighting like, oh yeah, like men are dogs, and then now it's women can also be dogs.
It's okay. It's okay. I get what you mean. Christina, what do you love about this show?
I like that they showcase 3 different couples or relationships, more than 3 couples.
Yeah.
I felt like it moved quickly and kept my attention like the whole time.
Noah, what do you love about this show?
I think these are the most emotionally well balanced people on reality TV. Like, they are dealing in like a pretty extreme situation, and they're not like emotionally chaotic. Like, a lot of the dialogue between these units, it's quite balanced. Like, you can tell it's like super like therapy driven, but like in a very positive way. So yeah, I was quite impressed with the dialogue they had.
I think you bring up a good point. I think this show shows like people going through their emotions and like trying to deal with it in this like complex situation, whereas most shows have no desire for anyone to go through their emotions. They just want the anger and hatred and the fights. So like this is like the exact opposite of that.
But we'll see where this series goes, because that's kind of how Seeking Sister Wife started. You're like, wow. And then they brought in some couples that you're like, oh, here's the reality TV chaos. So it'll be
Okay.
interesting even next episode to see why did they not introduce the 4th couple
Well,
in season 1.
they do this for various shows where there's not enough time to do 4 couples, as we talked about numerous times on this show. Because if you introduce too many people at once, you don't get a good handle on the people, and then you just kind of like lose interest in the show and you don't know what's going on. Whereas the three seems to be 3 sets is usually where their max is.
That makes sense.
So yeah, what I loved about the show is I think it showed like not every couple, the Kenya specifically, I think shows like what a real relationship can be like, where you can have a nice open safe space with, to be like, I'm not okay with you going out and banging other people, or like, yeah, it's like, it seemed like everyone was open there, and Kenya seemed like a fun person. I don't know where I'm going now. So that's it.
That's good.
So let's do our last question where we rate the show top third, middle third, or bottom third compared to other reality shows. Brian, what do you got for me?
I'm just doing middle of the middle. As much as I want to check out more, I don't think it's going to be that good.
Christina, what do you got for me?
Bottom of the top. I just know that I'm probably going to watch the rest of the season. I think it's entertaining, and I'm just interested to see where it goes with the couples. So purely based on me watching it, like intending to watch more episodes.
Noah, what do you got for me?
Yeah, I'm gonna put it in the middle, top of the middle. Yeah, I like these shows that really give you a look into like what I would consider like extreme like lifestyles to a certain degree, or just like super novel lifestyles. And I thought this did it in a way that was not super reality, although I think as we dug in, we see it's all scripted and bullshit. But anyway, when I was watching it, I kind of felt that way. I am kind of interested to see like how these relationships evolve. I'm not going to watch more because I have better things to do with my time.
Whoa,
But
burn. Sick burn.
uh,
What does that say about Christina?
He's
Yeah,
got twins. I don't.
as soon as I said that, I was like, "Oh, that's not what I meant." But I was like, "Yeah, that came off like that."
That's like the harshest thing you've ever said to our audience there.
uh, but I would love to learn what happens and get like a TikTok of the next episodes. That would be
So
perfect.
be better as a TikTok.
I mean, like, I haven't watched all even like the Oscar movies yet. You know, like I still have to watch the second season of Hacks. I haven't watched the new season of Succession yet. Like I haven't watched Last of Us yet.
There's
Like
one episode of the new season of Succession.
oh, that's it. Oh, they didn't drop them all at the same time.
No.
I didn't know that. You see,
That
this
just
is
shows
what I
how
mean.
far. That shows how far behind you are on anything on HBO.
Yeah,
So,
like I haven't
oh,
watched
this is all the
Andor.
episode-
Like people talking about Andor. Like I know that. Like I'm just
Animorphs?
No, the Star Wars one.
Yeah. All right. So I think watching the show, I put it in middle third, but it's inching further and further down the more we talk about how scripted and how fake two of the three couples kind of felt. So, and they're just like, I really wanted to see them dating and like comfortable and ready to go. And that's just not the show we got. Like, that's what I wanted and was expecting. But the show's just like, we're just starting the process. So I'm like, are you going to go on a date this whole season? I want to see the people come into this relationship, not like see this relationship kind of fall apart in front of me. Like, I don't know.
I feel like they're setting the scene though. They're really getting you like invested.
Yeah, I would agree with you, if not most of the scene being, hey, I'm not sure I'm okay with this.
Mhm.
Right?
Yep.
One thing we didn't talk about, which I actually found surprising in the show. So, obviously, there's Seeking Sister Wife, but if I recall correctly, not all of it, but a good amount of it was like religious driven, right? Whether it's like Mormon or like there was some like more of like things set that this is allowable. Again, I haven't watched it in a while, so I could be totally wrong. But in these relationships, because it seems much more of a lifestyle choice, I'm surprised the guys aren't also seeking open relationships. Like they're going out getting more women.
Well, we already talked about how the first person's more of a pushover. And, they're just like, I see it like we were saying with religion wise, where like Mormons don't let this happen, but they let the other thing happen.
Mm-hmm.
So there's no religion that lets this happen. So it's really just a personal choice and kind of an arrangement you've made. So yeah, I mean, they're just doing it because they don't want to,
But seeking sister wives changed, I would say, because they have a bunch of new people. I would say maybe one of the couples was religion based, but most of it was lifestyle choice.
Interesting. And then do the women on those shows also date other men?
No. So that's what it's interesting, because it is pretty comparable.
That's good.
But it did seem like in this Seeking Brother Husband that was a little surprising that none of them have brought up yet that they either are not interested or would be interested in other relationships.
Yeah,
So.
like it's got to cross their mind. Like you have this partner, and she's just like, yeah, I got to get me some outside of this. Got to get like a nice variety. Got to get like a Baskin Robbins of like dicks around here, and like, the guys just,
Do we need to start having quotes from our show on the beginning of our show?
Yeah.
Like the guys, like it's not even like, nope.
I need the Baskin Robbins of dicks. Yeah. Brian, make sure that is in the show description.
All right.
Okay. All right. Let's move on. I think we've talked about this enough. Well, you can vote. Tell us what you thought on our poll on Twitter. I don't know. Twitter's doing shit about polls this week, so get your votes in before April 1st. And we'll see if there's polls going forward. We might have to move to just texting you and see what you thought. So
Well, they can reply on the tweet, right?
yeah, you can talk to us. Maybe we'll start a subreddit.
Mhm.
We'll get on there. So we'll do some shout outs. So last week we watched Outlast, which I was debating where to put Outlast, and I watched the whole season in 1 week. So we're gonna have to put it in the top.
Ooh.
I think that it really changes, like the no holds bar situation that happens on the show is like next level. I think it was like they're just kind of like go out and survive, and then people just like are hungry and tired, and they do some cruel things, and there's some blowback to that, and it's just like really entertaining, but it does take a couple episodes to get into.
And so it's Survivor in Alaska, and so is it just much worse because they're in Alaska?
Alone in Alaska.
It's like more. There's like it's like weird because I think that it starts out trying to be alone, but like team alone. So it's like 4 people, and it's 4 sets of 4. But then, I think it kind of stays that way. But they encourage you to interact with the other teams, which makes it kind of Survivor-esque. But it's mostly alone with like a team aspect thrown in. Yeah,
And
then they have some sort of challenge aspect that they throw in as well, which I don't think turns out as well as they wanted it to. But I could see they wanted to end production is really what I think is what happened. They have to do some great challenge at the end, and the winner wins. I'm not sure Netflix is getting their $1 million worth out of the show either.
That's a huge prize pool.
2 potential spoiler questions. One, is there a lot of team hopping? Because that was something they stressed in the first episode.
There's some attempts at team hopping and a lot of attempts at team stealing, or trying to get people to join their team, but not a whole lot. There's a lot more like alpha strong and beta strong or whatever.
I see. And then the second question. Oh, so they stress also a lot of like potential $1 million in the first episode.
They didn't say anything about the prize at the end. They didn't say anything about the money. I don't think they said $1 million. They said nothing.
Wow.
The only aspect of $1 million was the beginning.
Whoa.
But everyone was really excited. Like they do some really great interviews of the people when they win. There's definitely a point where like the show goes into sabotage territory, and then one player tries to join a different team, and then he joins, but they find out he sabotaged before they left, and they kick him out of the team.
Wow.
And then he has to leave because he's not part of a team.
Oh, that's fascinating.
It's very crazy.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Christina, you have any shout outs this week?
I'm deep in Love is Blind Seattle.
Season 4? Are they in Seattle yet?
I have not gotten to any reference of Seattle, so not yet.
Beverly's watching Love is Blind Seattle.
Has it like lost its luster?
I feel a little bit less interested than other seasons, but I don't know.
It's early yet.
It's early. I'm only maybe 3 episodes in, so we'll see.
Brian, what have you got for me?
John Wick 4. Not gonna say anything else. Just go watch it.
It's great. Noah, you have any shout outs this week?
We are restarting Fleischman in Trouble. We watched episode 1 like many months ago, and now getting back into it and moving through it, and pretty solid show. We finished Welcome to Chippendales. We went through that pretty quickly. Very solid. Both are Hulu shows, or on Hulu, Fleischman's FX. And I'm finally getting to watch more Hacks, which is good. Finally getting to catch up on South Park, which is good. I'm like getting to catch up a lot now because the babies are sleeping a lot better, and so like I was
going to ask you which twin likes South Park the most.
Yeah, I don't know which one would like it more at this point. Probably Arya. She seems a bit be a little bit more rambunctious.
Well, I mean, it's animated. I'm sure they'll just sit and watch it. Kids love animated stuff.
Yeah. Hopefully, I feel like South Park's gonna feel like watching I Love Lucy for my children and for us.
Well, it's like you can have them watch it now or when they turn like 15. Like there's like they don't know what's going on now, but once they start knowing what's going on, then you can't watch it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Luckily, there's Terrence and Phillip, so I have all that for them.
yeah. All right. Well, that's it for us this week. You can find us on Twitter at @WhoButTheSon. You can vote on our poll about what you thought about Seeking Brother Husbands. And next week, we're gonna start our parody month.
Woohoo!
And I did find one of the shows was available on YouTube. My Big Fat Obnoxious Boss, I saw was on
Yeah.
YouTube.
Okay.
It's a parody of The Apprentice. And the following week, we are going to watch Jury Duty, which is the Joe Schmo show, but jury duty style.
Cannot
So
wait.
one person thinks they're on jury duty, everyone else is an actor.
Yeah, it's great. That's a really good one.
So get ready. It's on the best network that we've done only one other show on, Freevee. Freevee, everyone.
Freebie.
We'll tweet out the YouTube link earlier. So come to our YouTube link.
Yeah.
Come to our Twitter. Find the YouTube link. All right. We'll see you guys next time. No.